Welcome to today's video. I'm going to be talking about the Lethal Cosmetics Pure Metals Eyeshadows. They're very shiny and sparkly, more neutral leaning kind of shimmer shadows. And these were sent to me by Lethal Cosmetics, so thank you so much for sending these over so I could try them out. There's one shade out of the 6 in this bundle that is a holographic eyeshadow, and that is the shade Bismuth. And you can get all 6 for the price of $50.85, or they are $9 each, which I think is a great price point. So I'm going to be showing you some swatches as well as a couple of swatch comparisons just so you can get a better idea of the varying textures and tones of other somewhat similar shadows you might have seen from other indie brands. And then I'm actually going to be creating 2 little custom quads, which I'm going to be using to create 2 looks with some of these shades. So let's get right into it. So the first quad is a very warm toned leaning theme, and I did put 2 of the metal shadow in here. All the mattes you will be seeing I did purchase myself. I have a lot of their matte shadows. It is one of my favorite matte formulas, and I will be labeling the shadows on the screen. So first in the crease, I'm going in with Imago, and I'm just first laying that down and really just working it in and blending it out. And then on the outer corner, I'm deepening out with Corrosion, and just look at that depth. It is such a beautiful, rich matte shadow. This is exactly why I love their matte shadows, and I'm also bringing that down to my lower lash line to just connect with the top lash line. Then just softly going over the edges. And I am priming with the Fair & Pixie Epoxy, and I like to tap it out, make sure I don't have too much on. And then I'm first going in with the lighter shade Alloy in the inner third of my lid. Now these shades are very sparkly, and I would definitely recommend using some sort of a tacky primer to help these adhere and also to minimize any fallout. You can see I did have a little bit of fallout, but it was not too bad, and I was able to blend it away afterwards. And then I went in with Cobaltite right on the center of my lid and just made sure to blend out the outer edge into the matte. And here's the first finished look. For the second look, I was going for a little bit more of a cool toned look, especially going off of the tone of the shade Mercury, which is such a beautiful color. So I first went in with Release right into the crease, and then onto the outer corners of that, I went in with the shade Undone to just bring in a little bit more depth and a little bit more of that purple tone in there. And then I used transmutation on a very small pencil-like brush to just add a little bit of depth super close to my upper lash line. I didn't want to bring this out and smoke this out too much. And I'm using a rougher brush to just blend that out and up and into my crease just a little bit, but trying to keep it pretty controlled, especially on the inner corner. And then I did use Release to blend out the edges of that a little bit further. And then I'm putting down the Fair & Pixie Epoxy just for that little bit of tackiness so that these shadows have something to help them adhere. And I'm using a super flat brush to pick it up and place it down into the center of my lid, so creating a halo eye. I did go back and forth dipping into the pan a bit and just add it on more and more until I got the shimmer as far as I wanted it to be. And then here's the second finished look. Some of my initial thoughts on these is these are definitely a great option for really sparkly neutral shadows from a European-based indie brand. I would recommend using some sort of a tacky primer to help prevent fallout, and also doing your eyeshadow before doing your base, which I personally do that anyways, so it wouldn't really be an issue for me. I didn't feel like the fallout was anything too extreme, and it was easy to brush off. These are not as flaky as the shimmers in the makeup palette from Adept Cosmetics, but they're also not as smooth as the Terra Moon's shadows, and I feel like you can kind of see that a little bit in the swatch comparisons. These do smooth out, and I think they would also apply nicely with a finger, not just a brush. I don't think that they're flaky enough where you need to use a silicone applicator, and I feel like the price is really good on these. I think that these are a great addition to the Lethal Cosmetics lineup, and I'm just really excited to see what else they have coming out. I feel like their launches have been very thought out, and it feels like they're extending the variety of products as well as the type of shimmer textures and formulations that they do offer. So let me know in the comments below if you picked any of these up. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.